Alright, so I'm back again this week doing another video for you guys. I thought I'd do another study, but sort of mixed up instead of doing a live study. So, as you can see here on the screen, I have a reference photo up of a skull. And I just wanted to talk about the differences between a still life study and a reference study. So, when you do a reference study, it can be anything really, like a face or a car, whatever you want it to be. The same sort of approach applies to doing a still life. You should really focus on shapes first, try and basically map out shadows and whatnot, or you can take a different approach where you basically block everything out in one single brush stroke and then you just work in fine little details. I'll probably do a video about that maybe later down the track, but for now I'll just keep it simple for you guys and just focus on shapes really. So the main things you have to keep in mind when doing a study from a reference photo is never eyedrop colours from the actual photo itself. So never take the colour that's in the photo, because if you do that you really lose out on that whole section of learning about basically value and gradations and whatnot. So you really need to try and analyse a picture and work out what the value is and then paint it down. And it's actually a lot easier studying from a photo than it is doing a still life, because when you study from a photo, it's not moving, it's already in grayscale for you, so it basically does half the work for you. All you have to do is basically paint it. So yeah, you should never really eyedrop colours from the photo, because that's just a bad way of learning. Another thing you should keep in mind from studying from a reference photo is you should always flip the canvas from time to time, as you'll see me do. It's just so you keep the proportions right, you know that you're not really missing anything. Like for example here, the jawline, that is way too short compared to the actual reference photo, but when you flip it you start to notice it and then you're able to change it easily. So you'll probably see that come up soon. I think it's just around this part. Yeah, this is all pre-recorded. I'm just doing a voiceover over this. So yeah, here I start to notice that the jawline is way too short. Yeah, so I get the lasso tool and just bring it down a bit. So yeah, that's another good reason why you should always flip the canvas horizontally ever so often. It's just so you can basically keep the proportions in check, so you don't make anything too small or too big. What's another thing you should check out for? Also don't try and imitate the exact values that you see. So in my reference photo, some of the colours are a bit more dull, bright, and very dark around the shadow areas. But with mine, I've sort of got it almost all similar mid-tones. So basically you don't want to replicate a photo, because anyone can do that basically. If you spent the time on it, you can replicate any photo. What you want to do is study it, but also learn at the same time. So you don't really want to imitate every single detail, every single bit of value, because it just takes a learning out of the process in a way. So you want to understand the value that's fair, and then basically paint what you feel is right, or paint what you think is right in a way. And it's a good way of learning. You start to notice stuff really fast about shadows and core shadows and whatnot. Yeah, so that's another thing you should keep in mind when doing a photo reference study. Also, when you're doing a live still as well, you just want to focus on shapes, block out the overall form, and then start to work in details. As you can see here doing. Yeah, I always leave the teeth till last because I just hate painting teeth, they're so hard to do. Coming into the halfway mark now. So I think I kept this study till about roughly 40 minutes long. I wanted to challenge myself, see how far I could get within a certain time frame, so I kept it to 40 minutes this time instead of an hour. That's also another thing you should probably do with just any study in general, or even if you're just doing a drawing. You want to time yourself, or like try and keep yourself to a limit, so that way you don't get caught up in the details, or you don't get caught up doing random stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So if you tell yourself you want to keep yourself to an hour or 40 minutes, you're able to focus more and get what you need done in a way. So it's good to keep yourself to a limit as well. Also, reevaluate what you've done. So as you just saw there with that small black outline that I was doing, it's good to redraw shapes that you've already done just to make sure that it's sitting in the right spot and that you know that it's right for you to like carry on and keep on drawing or painting. So you'll see at the end what I mean by that, but yeah, it's really good to just sometimes go over the same stuff that you've already done just to make sure it's right, because the last thing you want to do is really detail something and then find out that, you know, the eye is out of place or the jaw is not long enough. It's really annoying when it gets to that point. It's here working in shadows. It's also good to keep that in mind as well with shadows. You don't want to go absolutely dark as it is in the reference. You want to keep it just under, maybe above a mid-tone in a way. So maybe on the grayscale probably be about 70%. You don't want to go absolutely dark or absolutely white, unless that's what you want to go for in terms of style, but for a study you shouldn't really have to do it. And if your photo study is like that, then it obviously has a bad exposure, which you can obviously fix yourself in Photoshop, or you just find a better reference photo. I'm at the stage now with all my colours down, or greys down, that I can just pick from the canvas. I don't have to keep on creating new colours from the sliders, so that's also a good thing when you're studying as well. Once you have all your colours down, you can just automatically pick from the canvas, and it saves a lot of time as well, if you are timing yourself, that is. I also notice with my recordings I get those random lag things pop up. I really need to like buy proper recording software and not just use free ones. I was actually surprised because I didn't get a lot of lag this time, so that's pretty good for me. About to come up to the final stages now. You really want to leave the detailing stage, like the small little textures, to the very end, because, you know, like I said, if you spend a whole lot of time detailing something and something is wrong, you know, you've just lost all that work for nothing. So you want to make sure you have everything right first, your forms down, your values are right, and then you can, you know, really just focus on detailing, like little tiny textures and all that. Like I always do, I always leave teeth to last because I just hate drawing them. They're so annoying to do. Actually, probably pretty messed up with these ones. Yeah, here just put in a little highlight. You can notice in the reference photo as well that that highlight isn't there. I just felt like it was necessary to put it there to just make it seem more natural in a way. So that's what also I mean by you don't want to really follow exact same thing to the photo. You want to sort of keep your own image to it as well. Okay, so another rule you should also keep in mind when you do a reference study is at the very end you want to do a self-evaluation. So you want to basically criticize your own work. So here you'll see me map out. So I need to work on the eye, the jawline, and like parts of like detailing and just, you know, main value in general, like shadows and whatnot. That's the stuff I need to work on. So that's also that's a very important thing to do when you do a photo reference study or anything at all, is to basically just evaluate yourself at the end, and it really helps you improve. Just some random stick figure guy. So yeah, okay, that's this week's video. If you have any topics for me to do, just let me know. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, thanks for watching. Also, like, comment, and subscribe if you can. Alright, thanks. Bye.